It happens to the best of us. You model your work, gather materials, start milling and cutting parts to length. The basics of woodworking, right? Taking big pieces of wood and making them smaller. It's an art of reductive manufacturing. And then it hits you. You just made those legs a ½ inch too short. What do? Aside from yelling at yourself for not paying attention to your plans and machine setup? Well, as the late Bob Ross used to say, there's no mistakes, just happy accidents. Some would call it a design opportunity. I call it last chance at redemption to impress your client. So here's what I did to add some length and detail to otherwise miscut legs. It starts with some blocks of wood, in this case walnut, and the domino joiner. You could use a doweling jig just as easily. Just make sure your reference lines match up and the blocks sit flush or slightly inset from the faces of the legs. When all the appropriate joinery has been cut and all the parts fit well, it's time to glue the blocks onto the legs. I'll admit this is a lot easier to do if the legs are square, and it gets trickier when the legs have a taper, as mine do. Just start on the flat and square faces and cut a rabbet at the end of the feet, cutting into the leg material by maybe 3/8 of an inch. You'll see why I did this in a moment. To cut the rabbet on the tapered faces of the legs, I use the cutoff from the leg to raise the end level to the table saw. A tilt box helps to dial in the degree I'm looking for. Then the pieces are taped together and the rabbet is finished all around the feet. The veneer material is cut at the bandsaw. I chose a piece of walnut which was nearly quarter sawn to keep a nice straight grain in the parts. Then I glued 2 adjacent pieces of veneer to the feet, making sure they're tight to the shoulder and tightly butted together. Once that's dry enough to remove the clamps, I repeat the process. The final piece to get glued in is a very precise fit, so I use the hand plane to sneak up on the fit and slide it into place. The rest is flushing everything up and continuing the tapers from the top to the bottom of the legs. As you can see, the straight grain walnut blends perfectly into the next piece for a seamless foot detail. Finally, trim the legs to the proper length and apply the finish of your choice. I hope you've been inspired to try something new, hopefully integrating something like this into the design and not necessarily as a happy accident. If you like this tip, please click the subscribe button and share the video with your friends. And click the bell icon to receive those rare notifications from when I put out a new video. Thanks for watching.